So I got to drive and get my kid. I figure it's a little opportunity to kind of share a little more out in the craziness of all things. So I don't know how this connection's going to be, but let's give it. It seems like everyone's got opinions. Everyone's got theories from Tupac was, what he was trying to do, how he died, who was in charge of killing him. You know, none of that shit even matters to me. I think the biggest travesty is that someone who was divinely inspired, that could have become a great human being on a global scale, was taken out. And I don't know who took him out, but I'll tell you what, they did humanity a big fucking disservice. Big fucking disservice. It's not a black-white thing. For me, Pac was more than an African American. He sort of had revolutionary roots and training that transcended any color lines. And for me, as an Iranian, or as he likes to call me, the crazy Iranian, um, we're missing one of the most important voices of a whole generation, of many generations. And Tupac at 25 had achieved more than most do in a lifetime. And I think that's the travesty. You know what I mean? You've got, these people, you got a hoax dude that's saying he was a part of the FBI or CIA mole and there were doubles and they planned his assassination, or he lives in Honduras, so there was no blood at the site. Fuck all that bullshit. That's just a bunch of bullshit. That's a bunch of motherfuckers trying to make a name for themselves. You can accuse me of anything. You can accuse me of whatever the fuck you want to do. Call me whatever you want. But the one thing is, in 22 years, my story has not changed. I experienced what I experienced with Tupac, and as I always say, I'm a very small fragment in the Tupac story. But I think as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, it's important for those of us who had presence in his life to tell our stories, only in that any amount of information on him that's shared is a piece of the puzzle that needs to be shared. I'm not trying to solve who killed him or who was in charge of it or who did this, that, the other. That's not as important to me as sharing a fuller picture of who the individual Tupac Shakur was, because he was so much more than any of you even know. And that's the fucked up part about it is, share their stories, and that's the puzzling part for me. I don't understand why Tupac was, what his intentions were, what his plans were, who he cared about, why he had issues with people, transforming. Because in the short term, 1 year that I was in his life, I saw that motherfucker transforming from a cocoon to a butterfly manyfold. And I've said it many times. In one of the last conversations, he said, in 6 months, no one's going to recognize me because I'm going to act like such an adult. I'm not going to do any stupid shit anymore. And, maybe one day I'll run for mayor of Los Angeles, because it's the politicians, the cops, and the preachers that are the biggest gangs in the world. Foreshadowing all the shit we know now. You got the whole Catholic Church with hundreds of preachers that have come forward as child rapists for the last 30, 40, 50 years. He talked about that shit. Or the dirty cops that have killed people, innocent people, or put innocent people behind bars, or these crooked ass politicians. And look at fucking Trump, the dirtiest, scummiest motherfucker that's ever lived. That's our president. That's supposed to be the number one most powerful person on the planet. You've got the biggest shyster, mob-related Russian oligarch motherfucker that is running our country. And you know, every time I hear one of these motherfuckers talk about Pac's alive, I'm like, you have no fucking idea. If Tupac was alive, he would have handed so many people their asses. You know, all these tatted up, face tatted up little fucking rappers, P. Diddy, Trump, a lot of motherfuckers that are not self actualized, that are just energy vampires. He would have handed their asses to them, let alone, you know, everything that's been done in his name. But yeah, man, it's frustrating. It's frustrating that more truth about him has not been shared. And look, I'm only one dude that's been sort of sticking to my story, and I'm loyal to him. I love Tupac. That dude gave me opportunities that sort of, you know, I mean, fuck, anyone that got to work with Tupac was blessed. And you know, I feel like I'm one of them, 100%. And I'll take that to my dying day. I was gonna say to my grave, but I don't believe in being buried. I'm all about cremation. But yeah, prayerfully, God willing, more of the truth will come out. More of the people that knew him will speak up and share a little more of his wisdom. You know, people like Layla Steinberg, who worked with him, who's done a whole healing curriculum. Her story needs to come out. Yasmin full of stories to come out just because of what I was able to witness. And there's so many people. I'm sure, you know, bonjour, bonjour Nick, mon ami, ça va? Gotta give love to my brother in France. Sorry the connection's kind of fucked up, but I'm like, fuck it, why not? Why not just share whatever I can on this thing? Anyway, so my intention is that hopefully when the universe aligns and gives me the opportunity, Jules, what's up? Gives me the opportunity to sort of share my stories, I will do so. Uh, so what's up, General? But you know, I'll keep doing this, and you know, if you guys, you know, I know there's a lot of angry motherfuckers that sort of call themselves Pac fans, but you know, I think the angry Tupac was only a phase. He was coming out of that. He wanted to grow up, and I think eventually he would have been of service. And what I mean by that is that when we all of a sudden recognize that it's not about us, but what comes through us, I think Tupac was on that because he was definitely divinely inspired, but he still had a lot of demons he was dealing with. And I think once he had dealt with those demons, and I think he was in the process of it, he would have become more self actualized and been of service and then become truly the powerhouse that he could have by doing good in the world. And I'm not saying he wouldn't make money because I think Pac could be the first billionaire. Pac could have been a billionaire before Jay-Z and whoever the fuck else takes credit. I can't believe fucking P. Diddy's up there, Mr. Dirty Businessman, man. With everything else, I've heard he's one of the grimiest business people on the planet. When I heard his Sean John line of clothing instead of fur was using dog hair in China, I'm like, that's a dirty motherfucker. Whoever runs this shit is dirty too. But anyway, I guess I shouldn't be talking shit about people. You know, I think again, Tupac, uh, whether he knew it or not, is a teacher for a lot of us in that he had recognized and realized so much about manifesting and creating possibilities and having intentions because I don't think he prophesized his death as much as he perpetuated it. And what I mean by that is, look, That motherfucker could create whatever abundance he wanted, even though he surrounded himself with devils. And I think if you surround yourself with people that revel in death and destruction, eventually you get taken out. And my theory is the golden goose theory. I think Pac was a golden goose that kept laying these fucking platinum albums. But then when he recognized that he was surrounded by the wrong forces and he wanted to get out of there, they took him out. And I don't know who took him out, but they took him out. I don't think it's as simple as a fight. I think it was staged. My gut tells me it was staged because I think we knew he knew he was surrounded by energies that didn't deserve him. I don't think a lot of the people that made money off of Tupac deserved him, and I think his own selfish desire to get out of jail allowed him to make some fucked up decisions, and I wish to God he hadn't, for many levels, for many reasons. Anyway, I'll keep doing this. I don't know if it's useful to any of you. I don't know if it serves any purpose, but I'll tell you what, it feels good to fucking get it off my chest. And pray for us, man. Pray for us. Pray for us. Pray for me, if you don't mind. Pray for me to be able to tell my stories of Tupac and do him justice, his legacy justice, and continue my loyalty for him because I sort of still feel the 22 through all the ups and downs, and mostly downs, I'm still fucking standing. And for a while longer. Inshallah, God willing. Anyway, one love from the West. Keep it West, no matter where you're at. Even if you're in the East, stay on the West or claim the West. Anyway, I'll be back. You should try Insta Live and Insta TV too, Gobi. I will. I'll try it all. Um, anyway, try that next. Be well, you all. Be safe and stay away from the haterade. Stay away from the haterade. And don't forget, when things go wrong, don't go wrong with them. One love.